Hey TikTok and YouTube, how are we going today? Doing a little bit of sculpting. So these are the last paws for the lions. So these will be probably the female lion. Doesn't really matter, I guess. I've sculpted a whole bunch of other paws. So these are the last paws that I'm sculpting. It's really easy to sculpt big cat paws, or any cat paws really. I've done so many of them over the years that I'm pretty quick at sculpting big cat paws. So there's the two front paws so far. And I always roll them out in these little sections, I should say. And that basically means I can quickly do the paws. So these will be the side paws. So I just basically shape it and then round it off into like this tip and then sort of curve it. And then you want to place it sort of a little further down from the other two claws. Sort of start blending it in. Just a little bit here. Just push it back and blend it in. So it's starting to take shape now. Now I'm going to be covering this with fake fur as well, because these are going to be for my lions. So I'm not being too particular about it being really neat. What am I doing? One more paw. This one, run away. And again, so just roughly shape it. I squeeze the end down and roughly shape it into a little point again. This one's going to go that side though. And again, place it sort of a little bit further down. Start blending it. I always get this bit to create the knuckle. Start blending it. And then I'm going to cut off this excess here. Pretty dramatic cut. And then I'm going to get, so these are going to have an armature in it, so I'm going to get a piece and just make a little mark where I want it to go. And I'm actually going to take a little bit off here. Don't want it too thick because I'm going to be attaching that armature with epoxy sculpt. And before I fix all this up here, I'm going to do the paw pads. And this one's going to have like that third little knuckle thing. So for the paw pads, get a little section of the clay and sort of start shaping it into kind of a triangle shape. Flatten it down around the edges here. And then with my fingernail, I'm just going to push in some detail work here to create a little bit of a curve. And then push this top bit down a little bit. And we've sort of got a rough shape of a paw pad. Then I'm going to place it here. And with the lions, their paw pads sort of take up majority of their foot. So the paw pad has to be quite big. And then I'm going to get my silicone tool. And I'm going to start creating those little indentations with my silicone tool. Bit like that. And then with my needle tool, which it needs a desperate clean, I'm going to go in and make some more harsher ones. And then start sort of just smoothing that out and sort of rounding the edges a little bit. That's sort of a paw pad. And then for the little toe beans, I grab a small section of clay, roll it into a ball, and then sort of like an oval, flatten it a little bit, and then place it on the paw. Same deal with all the other ones. Roll it in a ball and then ovally shape, place it, and they come quite close to the paw pad too on lions, whereas cats are a little bit further apart. So they're all sort of different in their own way. Okay, next one that's slightly smaller, so I'm going to put it on this side. And the dots on this side, the little beans on this side, sort of curve a little bit to follow the toe. All right, last one. And I'll paint this black and sort of give it a bit of a wash over the top of it just to look like it's a bit worn. And there's your paw pad. So for this one, I'm just going to neaten this up. For your nail beds, I like to use either this one or like a bit more of a arrow shape, and you just sort of do that a little bit, and the claws in the middle sort of come off to the sides a little bit more, so they're not really in the middle, and create little claws like that. Thanks for the likes. Looks cool. Thanks. And then for a little bit more definition up here, again, it's going to be covered in fur, so I'm not going to be too worried about this. I'm just going to sort of create it like that. So nothing too major because the details are sort of already there, but I'm just creating a little bit more definition here. And just clean this up a little bit. Even though it's going to be covered. So I'm not going to worry about smoothing this out too much. Again, I'm covering it with faux fur, so you're not going to see much. All right. So that's sort of a lion paw pad. So for this one, I'm going to add a little toe. So basically shape it kind of like that. And I'm going to put it on this side. That's the toe that comes up a little bit. Oops. All right, and then sort of blend it in a little so it doesn't, so it sticks on there. A little here. And same deal with the claws. I'm thinking I'm going to do the claws out of latex again. And then that also needs a little toe bean, so it's got a smaller one. So again, just roll it out, plonk it on there. All right, so that's pretty good to go. So I'm going to be putting the armature off on a little bit of an angle. So really all you're going to see is that bit there by the time I put the armature on and the faux fur. So that's really all I'm worried about, is that little bit there. All right, next one. Again, squish it down. This sort of creates the base. Really rough shape. Get your clay and just tapering it off at the end here. Let's start with the middle toe. Press it together, push that back. So there's one toe. Hi again. How are you? Thanks for coming back. And again. Just sculpting some lion paws. So we've made some good progress. Okay, so I've finished. I've got one more head to sculpt, which is the Zoomies cat. What am I making? Just doing some paws for the lion. So I've done one set of paws for one lion. So I'm going to do the other set. And I've done all the cat paws, I think. Just like little bits and pieces, really. Start getting ready to put all the dolls together. It's exciting. Okay, this one. This side. I'm generally pretty quick at sculpting paws these days. Done a lot of them. Let's clean this bit out. Okay, so trim this. This is actually amazing. Oh, thank you. So, got quick paw, and then I'm going to do the toe bean stuff. So just get a piece, shape it into a rough paw pad. So around that bit, and then I'm going to get my nail, so press that in to create that little divot in here. Flat. It's a really rough shape. Stick it on. That's sort of rounded. And I'm going to do these little creases here. Do a bit more of a harsh crease. Smooth it all out. Okay, squish it down because it's kind of rounded. And then toe beans, roll them up. And stick it on. Another piece. So sort of rounding it into an oval shape and then flattening it. Stick it on. I don't really do too much detail with these ones, with these paws, because I unless I'm painting it, I'm covering it in faux fur. So I'm not going to bother wasting time smoothing everything out. It's just not necessary. Obviously, if it's awful, then yeah, I will. But little creases and crevices, I'm not too worried about. All right, so this one's going to have that extra toe like this one. So you've got to do it on the opposite side this time. So rough shape. We're sticking it on this side today. And then blending it in. So I'm going to add the claws separately. I don't want to use any polymer clay for it because they're quite thin and they're just going to be way too fragile. So I think I'm just going to go and do them out of latex again. Okay, and this one needs a little toe bean as well. This is a smaller toe bean. And squish. And then for the little nail bed, just using my tool here. I'm sort of wiggling the bottom, keeping the top straight. And the middle claws are closer to the middle than what you think. All right. And then a little bit of detailing here. Again, it's going to be covered in fur, so that just gives it like a little groove for the fur to sort of sit in. We have another warp pretty much done. So I've got 2 more to do. And then I might start sculpting Zoomies cat head, which I kind of need more clay actually. All right, so squish it down. Rough shape. Piece of clay for the toe. Start with the middle. First toe. Just trying to find which one has more. Maybe this one. All right. So squish it into a tube, pinch the end, stick a bit at the front, stick it on, so smooth it underneath, smooth it up the top, together. It's another toe. So the edged ones are different again. So just smooth that out a little bit. Pinch the end. This one has to be slightly curved. And place it a little bit further back from the first middle pores. And then blend it in, creating that knuckle bed definition. And then this little section here, just going to pull it up and blend it. Three toes. Okay, same deal, pinch it. A little bit further back, blend. Sort of start shaping it, and I'm going to trim off this excess after I've cleaned it up a little bit. where my armature is going to sit. Okay, so that's pretty much the paw. I'm going to do the paw pads now. Let's clean that up a little bit. Again, not too worried. So I'm going to get a piece of clay, smooth it out. This might be too much. And squish it down to a kind of triangle shape. Around the edges. This bit, nail, nail. Okay, paw pad on, flat silicone brush to create the detail. Bit of a harsher line. Smooth. And then we want toe beans. That one's too big. That one in the middle. There. Last one. Okay. All right. One more to go. Okay, so these are going to be the two front ones. Back on. One more to go. Kitty. Okay. Yep, doing heaps of paw prep the last 2 days. And I've got one more kitty cat to sculpt, which is the Zoomies cat. Yes, one more head to sculpt, and I've got the claws for the Gila monster to sculpt too, which I think I will do that in cosplay. Unfortunately, I've got grey cosplay, so I'll probably use the grey. Not a fan of cosplay, but Gila monster's claws are really thin, so I want to make it kind of durable. And then I can start putting all of these dolls together. So I do a little bit of painting prep. I I'm still undecided on pooping cat colour. Someone said orange, so maybe orange tabby. The Zoomies cat, I'm doing a Burmese cat, and the yawning cat is going to be Siamese, blue point Siamese. So I'm thinking the Burmese is going to be a chocolate Burmese. That's going to be Zoomies. I've got the fabric to do the chocolate Burmese, but I don't have a fabric to do a brown. Browns have slightly different kind of fur, I think. Very silky. So I have to hunt for some silky brown fur. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about pooping cat colour. Orange. Do people like orange cats? Ginger cats? Okay, paw pad. I printed off a whole bunch of eyes too. Spent a bit of time making eyes for cats. Your fat boy was an orange tabby. So like the stripes, because I can do that. I'll do that with the airbrush. I was going to do it like a silver tabby, but I'm already doing the Siamese as a blue, so it might be too much grey. I might have to get some more of the fur that I was going to use for the lions, but maybe not. I have to have a think about what fur I want to use for the lions, because lions have pretty short fur, which is fine. I can trim the longer fur. So yeah, I'm undecided about that. Okay, now toe beans. He had the M on his head, but silver tabby's cute. Yeah, I just think I might be doing too many. Like, it's not really a variety of colour. So I think maybe the orange might be a good colour scheme. The poopy cat's got a very round, chunky head too. So I sort of modelled it off a domestic short hair, like a round of sort of one, kind of like a British short hair, but not so flat. And yeah, different eyes. Oh, sneeze. Very lovely. Thank you. Okay, that's too small, that one. A little bit more. All right. Nail bed. So this one is either going to be the male or the female lion. So doing 2. Yeah, one's female's very spicy. Okay, so there are, I'll pause. Okay, so I've got a whole heap of paws stuff. So these are those weird little toe beans that are in the middle of nowhere. So a whole bunch of those. Got paws galore here. Lion, 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 lion. This one. So those are all lion, lion. These ones are yawning cat. So the stretchy ones. Yawning cat, weird toe beans. All right. Got space for like a head and maybe some Gila monster paws. Okay. Still got, so I've got one set. One set. Where's the other one? Oh, of course. Yawning cat set. One set. I need to do one more set for the third cat and the Gila monster paws. Okay. All right, so need more clay. So this is the humongo box of clay. So for some reason they're individually wrapping them now, which is a bit weird. Well, they never used to do that. It used to be like one bulk pack, and they actually look smaller blocks too, which is yeah. Feels like that's a bit cheeky. They look like they're smaller blocks. That'd be right. Smaller blocks and more expensive. Okay. This is our head. This is our head. I don't think I have any more. Foil. No. Okay, I'm just going to cut this. Too much racket. I feel like these are smaller than what we used to get. This is one that I got a while ago. It's about just over 1/2 centimetre smaller. Cheeky buggers. So cute. I've never used a Kmart clay. I just used Sculpting original. I've never used a Kmart clay before, but good to know it's not good. But look at this. You subscribed. Oh, thank you. That's actually the exact Sculpey box I got. Nice one. You get a lot of blocks in it, but look, there's that much smaller. Look at that. Cheeky buggers. See, they make it smaller and they charge more for it. Oops. How cheeky is that? Yeah, you can sort of see what I'm doing a bit better. Yeah, good eye. I knew it was smaller. It just looked smaller. Okay, so these are the eyes that I'm going to be using. I made them yesterday. So I've got I need to try and print them again, but I got a whole heap of different eyes to pick and choose from. So I went for these ones, a good, what do you call it, Burmese eyes. So I'm going to cut it out. And yeah, I've printed these on photo paper and I'm using cabochons for the eyes, which I've done many times before. So it's a good way to get like custom eyes. So, meow. So these ones are, thanks for the follow. I didn't see that before. These are going to be, these are slightly bigger. I need to get more blank cabochons this size. I have the smaller size, so if I'm going to keep doing cats, I need more of this size. But we've got our eyes. So these are going to be sort of zoomy eyes. I've got a couple of different options of zoomies eyes, but some of them look a bit hanging down. So they look pretty realistic, I think. And that's that. Got my armature ready to go. Find probably that way. Burmese have quite round heads as well, and their face is kind of flatter. So I'm going for a European Burmese, not an American Burmese, because the Americans are trying to breed them with a flatter face, and I don't agree with that. So we want to stick to the European Burmese that don't breed for a flat face. So that's kind of ruining the breed, in my opinion, is the American Burmese, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. This is amazing work. Thank you, Sam. All right, so we just need to condition the clay. So this will be the last. I'm doing 3 cats for the Action Cat series. So we need to condition the clay when we use polymer clay because it comes sort of crumbly like that, and you need to condition it a little bit. So this is why I like to work with Sculpting Original. It's quite soft to work with. That's just like a personal preference when working with clay. So you can get harder ones if that's what you like doing, and you can use a pasta roller to condition it as well. But yeah, I like the soft clay, so you can just squish it up. You can see my other live on the computer. So I've got a different view on the computer, but normally I have it like a one-on-one facing, but because I'm doing sculpting, you can't really see what I'm doing if I have it the other view. So when I start putting the dolls together, then I'll go back to the other view. Okay. So this is a brand new packet. It's super crumbly too, this one. It's still soft. But sometimes you can get Sculpey that's been sitting around for a long time and it starts getting like almost unworkable. So we've got to condition it. And you can always use some baby oil as well and just, give it a smash in a plastic bag. And that will sort of be usable again. All right, so the Zoomie's face is going to be a little bit different. I'm trying to keep these dolls small as well. I'm done with making big dolls. I've also got a commission piece I'm currently working on, which is the leopard seal. It's another leopard seal. So this person wanted a smaller version of the leopard seal. So I've gone and attached everything together. And this one's pretty much ready to be put together as well. So we're doing a bit of airbrushing on this one as well. And also my Gila monster, got a big triangle shaped head. All right, now don't know if that's going to be enough clay. Hopefully maybe I'll just do one more little section. So the next lot of Action Cats, I don't know whether to do Action Cats or more medieval cats next. I mean, I've got a whole heap of dolls that I'm working on anyway, so it'll be a while. I just like to think, you know, start planning. I've got a few fantasy things that I want to do as well, just to change it up a little bit. One is maybe an ice or a crystal stag. Okay, now I think that should be enough clay. All right, give me 2 seconds, TikTok. I'm just going to pause and do a quick little video of each step, so just bear with me. Okay, now we're going to cover this armature in a layer of clay to begin with, and then I can start sort of blocking out the details. Now I needed to go up larger with these eyes because Zoomies face, we all know the eyes are humongo. Okay, so we're going to go this way. So that's a rough shape of the head. And thanks for the share. And then we're going to cover the face in a layer of clay. Just trying to follow the contour of the armature that I've done. And a little bit more here. So really this stage is just like blocking out shapes and where we want things to sit. So getting your armature, like armature prep, really helps. Getting the shape right really helps as well. And then you don't have to go back and use as much clay. So our Burmese have very big heads, very stocky kitty. Perfect for zoomies. I need to check my photo, see if I've got zoomies pictures. And they also have quite flat faces, so we have to keep that in mind when we're blocking out. And I've always got reference images up on my computer to make sure I'm getting the dimensions right. All right, so normally I sort of block it out without the lower jaw and then I add it after. I find that a little bit easier. And I'm going to start sort of shaping where the muzzle's going to go, and I'm going to add a little bit to the sides of the head. Now with some Burmese, they have like an arrow-shaped head, or the other ones have like a really big round head. So there's a little bit of variation. My Burmese has a very arrow-shaped head, while her brother has a very big buff head. So, you know, just depends if we're going for a male or a female. Okay, a little bit on this side. Okay, going to do a quick video. Okay, we're back. All right. Now, shape of the head. How are we going? Now, we need to add, I'm going to add a little bit to the back of the head. I don't think I have any extra armature floating around here I can plop on the back of the head. Not really. That's fine. I will add this here. Right. We've also got very flat heads at the top too. So let's see. Yeah, I like to start with from the bottom and go up. Okay, so the face has to be pulled back a little too. All right, let's add a lower jaw. So shape it out. Okay, so nothing too dramatic here. Just do a little bit of a crease for where I want this jaw to sit. Thanks for the follow. And we're going to place really rough jaw, and then I can add a bit more. I thought it was real. Which one? The Jaguar? Super little. Okay. Now, Burmese have a slight pointy jaw. Ah, thank you. I did a black one as well, but that one's sold. All right, going to add just a little more to this jaw. So we're not adding any details at this point, just really mapping out. Sort of doing a sketch, if that makes sense. And this one's going to be Zoomies face, so it needs to be pulled back a little bit too. So could do it like slightly open, slightly weird open mouth. So let's just do that a little bit. Thanks for the follow. Okay, this is really rough. So add a little bit to the front here. This is clay. Yes, it's polymer clay. So it's Sculpting original, which is a polymer clay. All right. Now, just going to check my reference. Do a comparison. Our Burmese have very angular muzzle, like lips, if you want to call it lips. So I'll be adding like the little lip line soon. So what I like to do next is shape the nose. What color am I doing again? Chocolate, so I can just do it with this clay. So this needs to go. So again, just shaping it out. You took some classes when you were younger. It's difficult. It can be. I've been doing this I've always sculpted, but I've been doing this for about 13 years now. So I'm sort of challenging myself by doing, just more detailed work like that. This one's going to be a little Siamese kitten, blue point. And that's the pooping one. Where are we? The pooping one. This is going to be the poopy one. So I did a little pouty sort of face on this one. And then, yeah, this one's going to be the zoomies one. Okay, so our Burmese have very short muzzles. So no sort of stops here, basically. Very, very short. So just sort of comparing everything to my reference images, making sure I'm getting all of the dimensions right. So for the nose, what I'm going to do is just sculpt it out of clay first, like the little nostril thing. Oh, thank you for the roses. So for the nose, basically just do a little triangle, rough shape of the nose, and really rough. And then so they've got kind of roundy nose. So we're just really rough shape to begin with. And then we sort of place it here, possibly. Straighten it up a little bit. Be, good to place it in the middle. Doesn't have to be exactly right. Okay. All we're sort of worried about is the placement. So I love your art. How long have you been doing sculpture? About 13 years. I've been making these art dolls, so a while. Okay, so we just want a basic positioning of the nose. So now this has to be sort of pushed back a tiny bit, and the edges sort of wrap around the nose. So we're going to just push this back here to wrap it around. Wow, thank you. And then we can sort of start shaping everything. So I think that's kind of all right. I kind of think it might be a tip too far up, to be honest. See, Burmese have a really inset face. So what I'm going to do, the nose is in a bit of a different position than the rest of the cats. So there's slightly, I've got the word, bronchiocephaly, I think, something like that. So just going to remove that a little bit. They're considered that. All right, so I'm just going to pop this back on. See if I'm happy with that positioning. I'm just going to push this tiny bit out. I'll pop some clay in there. Just sort of feed it in. The Burmese are a little bit different. So, and when you're sculpting like a particular breed, like you have to get their features right. So we're going for a European Burmese, not the American. Okay, so we're now going to get our needle tool, sort of just create that little detail there in the nose with our needle tool. Not going to worry too much about this because I'm going to be adding the muzzle to it, or the lips, I guess. And then for the nostrils, I like to use a small ball tool. And that sort of just creates the nostrils. So I like to go in sort of downwards to begin with. And it starts creating like a little, sort of like a little ridge here. And they've got quite small nostrils, so just keeping it sort of small. I'm not too worried about messing up all these details around here. We will fix it. So we're sort of starting to get the oh, no problem. Thank you so much. Thanks for the roses too. Okay. Now we're going to create this little puzzle piece. Okay, so we're going to create this little flick. You want to call it that? Call it a flick. Using my needle tool. That. So we're starting to take shape. And then lastly, we're going to shape, just fix this up a little bit. Basically just going to start shaping the rest of the top of the nose. Just like this. And sort of start blending that back a little bit. Again, so the noses are quite little. I'm just wanting to map out the structure first. And I'm going to curl that tiny bit. Okay. And then start blending that out a little. So out there. Might be just a tad too long. And that needs to be pushed in a little. All right. What? You have one of those tools? Nice. Yeah, I use a couple of different tools for different things. My favorite animal that I've made, probably I made 2 different types of cheetahs. So I did just like a regular spotted cheetah and a king cheetah. So they turned out really cute. I was pretty happy with those. But yeah, I don't know. I made a bunch of medieval cats that I really liked. I did a really big leopard seal not long ago. That was pretty fun. I feel like every time I make something that I've, challenged myself to do, I liked it. My chameleon turned out really cool. I'm really happy with the way the chameleon turned out. Yeah. How would you say that? It's just practice, that's all. Lots and lots of practice. Challenge yourself. Okay, so we've sort of got the nose. Thank you for the follow. All right, TikTok, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to pause it. Do another little video of this process. We need to do Zoomies cats. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Okay, so next we're going to do like this little muzzle bit. And it needs to be pulled back a little bit because it's a Zoomies cat. So these are the eyes I'm going to be using. So for the little muzzle bit, what I'm going to do is pull out 2 bits of clay that are roughly the same size. How's this one going? And now Burmese have a pretty, depending on their face structure, have a pretty triangular looking mouth. So we've got 2 bits of clay. I'm going to squish it down and sort of start creating a muzzle. Or lip, whatever you want to call it. Place it there. Lovely. Start blending that in. And then for this bit that goes near the nose, what I'm going to do is sort of squish it down and just blend that up. Now, the muzzle's not this thick, so just have to play around with it. Push some towards the back. So just create this little indentation where we want our muzzle detail to go. So on one side. You watch this stuff a whole lot. Oh, thanks. Okay, let's put the other side on. Flatten. The Burmese have very flat little faces there. There we go. That's better. Too thick. Too thick and droopy. That's what it was. Push that up a tad. Put in a little lip line there. little bit. Clean it up later. Make sure I'm getting all of that looking like it's supposed to. Oh, hello. I finished my pooping cat, if it's any consolation. Totally not creepy. Mouth breathing, probably. Safe to assume. Too mean? Oh, right, brow line. That. This is the last kitty cat to sculpt. For now. Had to stick a Burmese in there somewhere. Couldn't let him down. A cute little profile. No, that's all right. roughly got the shape of the head. All right, so the eyes. The eyes are going to go here and here. 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 Further over. I think that's about right. Nice big zoomy eyes. Hey, David. Looks a bit creepy like that. Looks like some weird experiment. Love it when it goes under my nail. Okay. Side view. Too far back. Needs to go here. I'll work it out. Thank you for the follow. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to do a quick video. Okay. Now, for the eyeballs. Get our, so we'll just mark out tear ducts. Got that. Thanks for the follow. We got our piece of clay. It's going to go here. Got that. More over here. Bulk it out a little bit. See, it's starting to take shape. Now, we want the eyes. As soon as you add the eyes, the cutest thing ever. It's already starting to look Burmese as soon as you put the eyes in. All right, so we want to make sure they're sitting at the right angle. It's pretty good. That's too cute. All right. Right angle. I might just angle it slightly like that because Zoomy's face and we want it to be sort of pulled back. Oh my god, it's so cute. Too cute. So just pushing this clay to keep that angled. Not angled too much. Let me do a quick video of this. Now I want to do it brown. Okay, let's do the eyelids, the waterline. Now, Zoomies eyes are a bit weird. In. So just have to follow the eyelid, really, the eye. Like a little tear duct. See you later, mate. Cute. All right. Get out from under my nail. Next one. So we're going to go like that. And sort of down into a point. And the controversy. I do have to make the poop, so maybe I'll use real litter. Not actually. Not actually like real cat. I'll make the poop, but I'll use real litter. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Get in there. Out here. Push it in. Okay. I wish I could make one of those. What am I making? I'm making a little zoomy cat. So I'm doing the Burmese breed, but like in a zoomies fashion. So it's more for my action cat series that I'm doing, along with the yawning kitty and the pooping kitty. All part of the action cats. All right. Coyote. Isn't it the cutest? Oh my god. Just when I think I make like one of the cutest things, I make another cute thing. Stop. So cute. All right. Now we have to do the brow lines now. So we're just going to do the brow lines. So get a couple of pieces of clay and roll them out into like a big worm. So like that. Stick that in there. It's sort of a quick way of doing a brow. And I'm going to follow this contour here. So sort of just push it in and push back. Just need to, slice that open. And just a little bit more in this little crevice here. Oh my god. Need a little bit more in the middle. Okay. Push it in a tiny bit, I think. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I will be back tomorrow to hopefully finish this sculpture off. And then basically got a couple more things to sculpt. And then I'll do like a big mass sculpt, bake. And a big mass doll making sessions. Okay. So this is what we've gotten up to today. But yeah, I'll be on tomorrow again about 12:30 till 2ish again, doing some more sculpting. So thanks for joining me, YouTube. I'll catch you tomorrow.